Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Dune Awakening video. Today we are talking about skills and no specific build or set of skills or anything like that. More just an idea of how I put together my builds and the idea behind them. Okay, so basically all the skill trees are broken down into 5 lines. We've got the Swordmaster, the Bene Gesserit, the Planetologist, Mentat, and Trooper. They're the 5 that you're going to start to unlock and go through. So the idea with the first 2 is that these are the skills that are based around melee, which is the Swordmaster, and manipulation skills, which is the Bene Gesserit. So someone was asking me, can you have a stun build or something like that? This is where the skills come from that you would apply magic effects or control, stuff like that. So that's the first 2. Then we move on to the Planetologist, and these skills are mostly focused on shield regeneration, and then there's a whole bunch of passives in regards to mining and collecting. So this is your mid-range skills where you start to blend the shield capability of the character in with resource gathering. So this is sort of like a hybrid skill tree. Then we move on to the Mentat. So this is like very specialized, definitely attack focused skill set, and sort of the most underwhelming at the moment. So if you're looking at what skills to apply, the really popular ones here are these ranged damage passives, but everything else is kind of not really too effective in the game right now, but that might change. So Mentat is a funny one, probably just where you're focusing on your ranged passive skills. And then there's the Trooper. Now this is where you get the majority of the skills and passives focused on range damage, and the firearms themselves. Okay, so we'll go through it again. It's basically your melee skills come from here, your witchy control skills from here, your shield and gathering from the Planetologist. The Mentat is where your ranged and your sort of niche attack skills are. And then your Trooper is where you get the majority of your ranged damage and attacks. Okay, so the way that I think about it, just a quick overview, I like to use disciplined breathing as one of my main of 3 techniques. So the idea is that I take stamina from the Swordmaster and blade damage. This is the main focus of Swordmaster, is stamina and blade damage. With the Bene Gesserit, it is vitality and healing is where the majority of the passives are for here, and also some blade damage with your manipulation skills in the middle. So you take some vitality healing, manipulation in the middle, and then blade and movement skills over here. All right, so when it comes to the Planetologist, these 2 trees are pretty much solely focused on vehicles and resource gathering, and then this tree right here is about your shield. So almost every time I'm taking overcharge and rerouting, these are the staple for the Planetologist. And I move over to the Mentat, and lately we've been using a lot of ranged in our builds. So the Mentat ranged passives here have become really important. And there's also now the Garment Keeper and Tailoring. Don't forget about these ones. Now that we have pretty severe durability loss when we die in dungeons, you really want to make sure you're taking Tailoring and Garment Keeper as often as you can. And then finally, finishing off with the Trooper, ranged passives, and also, don't forget here, Gunsmith and Field Maintenance. These are the Trooper version of the durability protection, just like over here on the Mentat. So when it comes to Trooper, ranged and any skills that you want to use in your build, really important, plus these 2. Mentat, ranged plus these 2. Planetologist, mostly the shield stuff and any resource gathering. When it comes to Bene Gesserit, vitality, blade damage and manipulation, and then finally melee and stamina. So guys, I hope that sort of gives you a bit of an understanding. If you have any other comments, please pop them down below, and I'll be happy to give more feedback and just explain things a little deeper. Thanks so much, and I'll see you on the next one.